Again, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever wondered why the woman you desire the most never seems to want you back? You give her your time, you give her your energy. You even pour your heart into every little thing you do for her. And yet, she ignores your texts, cancels your plans, and slowly pulls away while chasing a guy who barely even notices her. Here's the shocking truth. It's not about your looks, it's not about money, and it's definitely not about being the nice guy. It's psychology, brother. Cold, hard, unfiltered psychology. Because here's a fact most men never learn. In a recent Harvard study, 87% of women admitted that the man they ended up obsessing over was not the man who gave them the most attention, but the man who triggered the strongest emotional responses in their brain. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Deadly psychological tricks that rewire her attraction on a subconscious level. Tricks so powerful, so scientifically proven that once you master them, she'll feel drawn to you without even understanding why. These aren't cheap pickup lines. These aren't manipulation games. This is Heil male psychology mixed with stoic masculinity. And once you understand these 7 triggers, you won't just get her attention, you'll own her obsession. So, if you're tired of being the guy she overlooks, if you're tired of competing with other men and losing every time, and if you're finally ready to become the man she can't stop thinking about, praise her mind, not her beauty, then lean in closely because what I'm about to reveal will change the way women see you forever. Trigger 1, the dopamine hook, addicted to you. Have you ever met a woman who at first barely noticed you, but after a few days, she's suddenly texting you non-stop, thinking about you all day and smiling every time your name pops up on her screen? This isn't magic. His isn't luck. This is psychology. Let me tell you about Arjun. Arjun was your average guy. Not rich, not a model, not Mr. Popular. But when he started dating Sarah, something strange happened. She became obsessed with him. She'd wake up and check her phone first thing in the morning, hoping he'd texted. She'd cancel plans with her friends just to see him. And when he was busy, she would anxiously wait for his reply like her heart depended on it. What was his secret? Arjun understood one powerful concept. Women don't fall for who you are. They fall for how you make them feel. Most men think attraction comes from constant attention. Texting all day, replying instantly, being overly sweet. But here's the problem. The human brain is addicted to unpredictability, not consistency. Think about it. Why do people get hooked on social media? Because you don't know what's coming next. Maybe the next swipe will give you a hilarious meme or a life-changing video or a heartbreaking story. That uncertainty spikes dopamine, the brain's addiction chemical. Arjun used this exact principle in dating without manipulation. One night he surprised Sarah with a spontaneous rooftop dinner under the stars. The next 2 days, he didn't text much. He was working on his fitness goals and business projects. Guess what happened? Her brain started craving him like a drug. She'd think, what is he doing right now? Is he, pull away when she wants you closer, thinking about me? Why isn't he texting? That space combined with unforgettable emotional highs hooked her mind. Here's the secret formula. Give her emotional intensity she hasn't felt before. Balance it with moments of absence where she misses you. Stay calm, unpredictable, and grounded. When you control how someone feels around you, you create a dopamine loop. And once a woman associates you with that emotional roller coaster, she doesn't jake. It's like you. She can't stop thinking about you. Trigger 2, the scarcity magnet. Chasing what's rare. Now let's talk about Ali, a man who learned the hard way why being too available destroys attraction. Ali met Mira at a friend's wedding. They instantly clicked, laughing, dancing, talking for hours. By the end of the night, they exchanged numbers. From that moment on, Ali thought, I need to make her like me. I need to prove I'm worth her time. So he did what most men do, texted her every morning. "Good morning, beautiful." Replied within seconds whenever she messaged. Cancelled his plans just to be available whenever she called. For 2 weeks, Ali poured everything into her. And you know what happened? She stopped replying. She became busy, and eventually she vanished. Ali was crushed. He couldn't understand what went wrong. Here's the truth Ali didn't know. Human psychology values what feels scarce. Think about diamonds. They're just shiny rocks. But because they're rare, people pay millions for them. Exclusivity creates desire. When you're too available, you communicate without saying a word. "I have nothing better going on in my life than waiting for you." That's not attractive. It signals low value. Now, fast forward 6 months. Ali learned his lesson, rebuilt his priorities, and focused on his career, health, and personal growth. One night, he bumped into Mira again at a mutual friend's birthday. But this time, he was 3. Make her subtly jealous, different. He wasn't desperate. He wasn't seeking approval. He was present, but detached. He smiled, talked briefly, and excused himself to catch up with his friends. And you know what happened? Suddenly, she started chasing him. Why? Because this time, Ali's energy communicated. "I'm valuable. My time is valuable. And not everyone gets unlimited access to me." Scarcity creates curiosity. Curiosity creates desire. Desire fuels obsession. Remember this rule. If your time is too easy to get, it loses value. If your time feels earned, it becomes priceless. Stop being always available. Be busy building your empire. Make her wonder what you're working on, where you're going, who you're meeting. A man who respects his own time forces the burden of decision-making from her shoulders. 2, it communicated confidence and competence. Sana showed up excited, curious, and fully invested. You see, most men don't understand this, but leadership triggers something primal. Back in ancient times, survival depended on following the strongest, most capable man, the hunter, the protector, the decision-maker. That instinct is still alive today. Women feel safer, calmer, and more drawn to men who move with certainty. But here's the difference between real dominance and fake alpha behavior. Real dominance is calm, steady, and respectful. Fake dominance is loud, arrogant, and insecure. Kabir didn't dominate her. He dominated the situation. He took responsibility, made decisions, and created experiences. And guess what? Sana didn't just feel attracted. She felt comfortable. A deadly combination that builds obsession. You want her to feel like she can relax around you. She shouldn't have to plan everything, guide every step, or figure out where the connection is going. When you lead naturally without forcing it, you trigger an ancient psychological switch. This man knows where he's going. I want to be part of his journey. These 2 triggers, mystery and leadership, are insanely powerful. Act like you could walk away any time when combined. First, you make her curious about you. Then, you make her feel safe with you. Curiosity pulls her in. Safety keeps her there. Trigger 5, the scarcity effect. Make her feel you're in demand. Picture this. Kabir and Sana had been talking for 2 weeks. Late-night texts, cute emojis, random voice notes, and things were going well. But then, Kabir did something most men never do. He pulled back. For 2 days straight, he didn't message her. No good morning texts. No, how's your day pings. Nothing. Santa noticed. She kept opening WhatsApp, wondering, did I do something wrong? Is he losing interest? Where is he? And here's the crazy thing. Those 48 hours of silence made her think about him more than all the previous conversations combined. Why? Because scarcity creates value. This is one of the most powerful psychological triggers you can ever master. We desire what feels rare. The human brain is hardwired to chase what seems limited. Think about it. If I tell you there are unlimited tickets to a concert, you'll probably wait before buying one. But if I say only 3 tickets left, suddenly you'll act fast. Women work the same way when it comes to attention and presence. When you're always available, texting, instantly liking every story, replying to every meme, you become predictable. And predictable equals boring. But when you create space, something magical happens. She starts missing you. She wonders what you're doing. She imagines you spending time with someone else. This mystery plus scarcity combo drives her curiosity through the roof. Now listen carefully. I'm not saying you should play childish, hard-to-get games. No fake ignoring, no unnecessary coldness. Instead, live a life so full of purpose that you're naturally less available. Hang out with friends, work on your goals, hit the gym, start that 5. Be unpredictable. Never let her fully read you business. When she realizes you're not waiting for her text to feel happy, her respect and attraction skyrocket. And here's where Kabir played it perfectly. On the 3rd day, Sana texted him first. "Hey stranger, where have you been?" Kabir didn't reply instantly. He waited an hour, then responded, "Been working on something exciting. Can't wait to tell you about it when we meet." Do you see what just happened? He flipped the script. He wasn't chasing her anymore. She was chasing him. That's the scarcity effect. Make her value your presence by occasionally removing it. It's not manipulation, it's psychology. Because when something feels rare, the mind naturally believes it's worth fighting for. Trigger 6, the emotional roller coaster. Tap into her feelings. Now, we're stepping into the most dangerous psychological trigger, and if you master this one, she'll think about you day and night. Let me take you back to Kabir and Sana's story. One evening, Kabir invited Sana to a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city skyline. The view was breathtaking. The soft music, the lights, the chilled breeze, and everything felt magical. As they sat down, Kabir told her a story. Not about cars, not about money, not about showing off. He talked about a night from his childhood, the time his father drove him to a hilltop to watch shooting stars because Kabir was scared of the dark. Sana listened and her heart melted. Why? Because Kabir wasn't just talking to her mind, he was talking to her emotions. Here's the secret no one tells you. Women don't fall in love through logic. They fall in love through feelings. You can't make a woman obsessed by just sounding cool or acting tough. You need to make her feel, and this is where the emotional roller coaster comes in. You must create moments of intensity, highs, lows, surprises, and connection that make her feel alive when she's around you. Here's how Kabir did it. He shared trigger her competitive instinct, vulnerability. That childhood story made him human, not a perfect guy. He surprised her. Out of nowhere, he pulled out a small Polaroid camera and said, "Let's capture this mom. He had been 10 years. Later, we'll look back and laugh at how nervous we were tonight." He created playful tension. Halfway through dinner, he teased her. "I bet you can't guess my guilty pleasure snack." If little emotional ups and downs did something powerful to Sana's brain, they linked Kabir to excitement, warmth, and happiness. And here's the craziest part. The human brain remembers emotional experiences far longer than logical ones. You can text her good morning every single day for a year. She'll forget it. But that one magical night, filled with laughter, deep talks, and playful challenges, she'll never forget. That's the emotional roller coaster. You make her feel safe one moment, then surprised the next, then curious again before she realizes it. Her brain associates you with powerful emotions, and powerful emotions create powerful addiction. Bro, these two triggers, scarcity and emotional roller coasters, are absolute game changers. They don't just make her attracted, they make her addicted. And if you combine them with the earlier triggers, mystery, dominance, and curiosity, you become unforgettable. Trigger 7. The imprint effect. Make her feel you're one of a kind. Kabir thought he had done everything right. He was mysterious. He created scarcity. He made Sana feel emotions she had never experienced before. But there was still one final step. The secret weapon most men never discover. One night, while sitting on his balcony, Kabir remembered something his mentor once told him. If you want a woman to never forget you, you must give her an experience that no other man can give her. That's when Kabir decided to leave his mark, not through money, not through fake promises, but by creating unforgettable emotional imprints. The 7. Give attention, then take it away. Night, everything changed. Weeks later, he invited Sana to an old book cafe tucked away in a quiet street corner. It wasn't fancy, but it had this raw charm, warm lights, soft jazz, and the faint smell of old pages mixed with fresh coffee. They sat by the window, talking for hours about their dreams, fears, and memories. And then Kabir leaned in and said, "You know, I have a crazy idea, but you have to trust me." Sana laughed nervously. "What kind of idea?" He smiled. "Come with me. I want to show you something." He took her hand and walked her up a narrow staircase to the rooftop. Above them, the night sky stretched endlessly, full of stars. And there, Kabir pulled out something unexpected, a small folded piece of paper. He handed it to her and said, "Write down one dream you've never told anyone, something you want to achieve before you die." Sana hesitated at first, but then she wrote something down. Kabir didn't ask what it was. He didn't peek. He just smiled and folded the paper again. Then he said, "All right, we're going to keep this safe. And one day, years from now, when you've achieved it, I'll be the first one to congratulate you." She just stared at him, completely speechless, because in that single moment, Kabir separated himself from every other guy she had ever met. No one had ever made her feel seen like that before. Why this works? Psychology behind the magic. Here's the secret, bro. The human brain is wired to remember peak emotional experiences. It's called the imprint effect. When someone connects with us deeply, especially in unexpected and powerful ways, our brain links that person to intense emotional memory. Think about your own life. You probably don't. Final stoic lesson plus call to action. Remember what you had for lunch 2 weeks ago. But you remember your first heartbreak, your first kiss, that one random night when something unforgettable happened. This is exactly what Kabir did for Sana. He gave her a memory that would last forever. How you can use it. Here's where most men fail. They try to impress women with generic moves, fancy dinners, expensive gifts, late-night calls. But women don't remember things. They remember feelings. So if you want to make a woman obsessed with you, do something different, something she hasn't experienced before. Create inside jokes only you two share. Give her a moment she can never replicate with anyone else. This doesn't require money. It doesn't require looks. It requires creativity and presence. Here are a few examples you can try. Leave her a voice note describing the first time you noticed her laugh and how it made you feel. Take her to a hidden, quiet place no one else knows about. Share a personal story that reveals a side of you no one else sees. Create a tiny ritual, like always touching glasses before sipping coffee or always taking a picture under street lamps. These little unique anchors make her associate you with rare emotions. Back to Kabir and Sana. Weeks passed. Kabir and Sana continued talking, but something had changed. Sana wasn't just interested anymore, she was hooked. Every time she thought of Kabir, she remembered that night on the rooftop, the folded paper, the stars, the dream she never told anyone. And deep inside she thought, no, one has ever understood me the way he does. That's the power of the imprint. Effect. You don't need to force her to, like you. You become unforgettable, naturally. Conclusion. Remember this. Attraction isn't built in her heart. It's built in her mind. When you master these 7 psychological triggers, you stop chasing and start choosing. Women don't become obsessed with men who try to be high value. They become obsessed with men who are high value. Be unpredictable. Be scarce. Be grounded.